the love or emotions. And I can find a wall to scratch one, for the face value, the itch to rub one, against the wall for the new person, the trampling over the garden, over your food for thought, but not to be considered a healthy lifestyle for the way until you die. Wasted in your waistline to fit the suit that you were suited to fit, and knowing that revenge has no coordination for the fabrics of life and place the magazines for the consignment of the consumers to the co-ops and scraps and down the pageants and walk away. Gown and just dress down for the concept of the tease to impress the window shopping and whose imaginative minds is to find it justifiable for the shoplifters suggested for her place in the 99% market. Wall Street is just them, the heaven is sin, the innocent, the payback for the reminiscent. Paybacks like the masseurs having back pain compensating the battery bartering exchange. It would be the progress to the outcome for the effective emotions and affections and becoming effective effortlessly affirming. But I could look back at that beginning, examining all the parts, inspecting all the actions that hit her. Wave for this, hiding with my love in the pocket for the beginning, the causes you think at the beginning, for examine what happened, I can say this wrong. You chose silence. Yet the fate guided us along faith, the fate that was meant to be. Find the path, alignment for the bad, and occupy the force, looking for the the perceptions around me. For those you can find a habit for the reaction to begin after the disasters and after the necessary cause. And in that cause, you think to the beginning to examine after what actually happened. Intuitions guided me through that night. I did seek the refuge and generous offerings, but I know how to find and present the love, to represent myself as independent from the leadership, for the mannerism, for the style, and I can still wait for this, looking to find avoid the consequences for the grace of the love, and to take advantage of the love, and I can find what's meant. I can see it all. Like I knew it all along. Should have taken the time to pause, to rewind the steps for the familiar age, a place where the dull knives meet the silky wrist, but in the inside that she wouldn't express it, from the buckling at the knees and the chance of salvation to the different kind of guy that she leads. Toward forward motion like locomotives for mutual cooperation, for the way from the cliffs to the tempted toes and find out separated for the surface and skin. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how to feel the love or emotions. And I can find a wall to scratch one, for the face value, the itch to rub one, against the wall for the new person, the trampling over the garden, over your food for thought, but not to be considered a healthy lifestyle for the weight until you diet. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how to feel the love or emotion. And I can find a wall to scratch one, for the face value, the itch to rub one, against the wall for the new person, the trampling over the garden, over your food for thought, but not to be considered a healthy lifestyle for the weight until you diet. Wasted in your waistline to fit the suit that you were suited to fit, and knowing your revenge has no coordination for the fabrics of life, replace the magazines for the consignment of the consumers to the co-ops and scraps and the pageants and walk away. A gown and just a dress down for the concept of the tease to oppress the window shopping and whose imaginative minds is to find it justifiable for the shoplifts and justice for her place in the 99% market. Wall Street is just the heaven sin, the innocent, the payback for the reminiscent. Paybacks like the masseurs having back pain compensating the battery bartering exchange. It would be the progress to the outcome for the effective emotions and affections and becoming effective effortlessly affirming. But I can look back at that beginning, examining all the parts, inspecting all the actions that hit her way for this, the hiding of my love in the pocket to the end of the causes you think at the beginning for the examine what happened, I can say what's wrong. You chose you, and you chose silence. Yet the fate guided us along faith that was meant to be. To find the path of alignment for the bad and not the fire forsook and lift the up and the perceptions around me for those you can find a habit for the reaction to begin that for the disasters and not the necessary cause and in that cause think you're beginning to examine every what actually happened. The intuition's guided me to that night. I did seek the refuge from generous offerings, but now I know how to find and present the love to represent myself independent from the leadership of the mannerism for the style and I can steal away for this and what you look and find avoid the consequences for the grace of the love and taking advantage of the love that I can find this man. I can see what all I could. Seems like I knew it all along. Should have taken the time to pause to rewind the steps for the familiar age, place where the dull lines meet the silky wrist, revealing the insides that she wouldn't express as you from the buckling of the knees to the chance of salvation to the different kind of God that she leads. Toward forward motion like locomotives for mutual cooperation for the way from the cliffs to the tips to the toes and find us separated for the serpents and skin. She peels and she radiates the regenerations for the generation broken in the eye sockets for the drain and lack of vision for the empty time banks replenished for the life savings and afterlife showings guaranteed. Those of silent serenades lift the songs and synchronize like the soul's salvation. Fire dancing in her eyes and eyelashes sing that after she snaps with the eyes closed and plucking the heartstrings and waiting for the reverberation for the guided for the valleys of the dark roads that for the tall mountains and hugs and all dirty for the earth turns and return to retune. Always where she finally limits and golden severity. Using her own life jacket for the giving mood. You can be found under that giving tree for the remembrance and the learning language and divided by the simplicity. The gentleness and the petals can cool the bottom cheeks and this bless her brush and find the crack and smiles. Flowery language and perfume and stench. Deep sea paths, the teeth to clench for the fear, for the revealing of the fists and floss. This is unfettered for the yet she can fly like them wings on her feet for the Greek gods and left speeches behind the stone exterior. Mercury witness birth, the rebirth for the presenting and over the fortunes and silver stringing. Your constellation above the bedhead for the captivated for the truth. And you can forget that, but remember the lifetime so many. So many you can find in between for that warm the blood, the symbolism for the falling upon the angels, so the concentrated with the linear limits and the star across the dodgeball for souls standing behind the sun. Practice is distracted for the shadows of life, and you can warm the entertainment sake and shade and increase your glasses thick enough for the tight girls to be fit enough for the type of excitation that manufactured by the dollar for the doll face and foundations and crumpled and mismatched. You rush to the inspection, injected for the weeping mothers everywhere for the crying babies, and you can find a running mascara for the fleeting and fast, and this will be the closet, the wardrobes to the net for the mouth peeps to the crunch of your spirit. Like being offered flaming hot Cheetos for Jesus. Less sin, more hungry for distraction. To blame the victims for the captivated with the capital punishment for the closet of find the war for cooked up with the prepackaged enemies and purpose for the evening digestion for the before they open your inducing slumber deceit. Play-Doh smells good when it tastes bad for this the ancient rhymes that live like the little for babies purpose and the spiritual hothead that you can find the tongues is ticky for the icky. The inheritance for the undeserved beneath the beast above the blind insight, the winds of prophets and self-proclaimed plagiarism for the force of defeating and falling stars and falling again for the again that you can find the sacred soaked in surfers and find the scorch. Birthmarks is identification. She didn't know how. She didn't know how. She didn't know how to feel the love or emotions. The situations in life they can't see. No eyes. Do understand where you go, there's a light that shines deep inside of your soul that illuminates the darkness and take control of which is the place to embrace the matter for to make us complete with the universe and whole. I'm rhyming this verse not knowing where I'm going. There's a good word for you to come back to get what you left off from the sun is the beginning and the ending of the weak stars and guidance to weak. Weak for that to far out to be the strangers responding up to the complete. Strangers that responded enough to contentment for the contention, for the contemplated, for the confidence has been contorted for the enough to be ignored. But the truth that lies in that amnesties, for the generosity, for the marriage of turning sheets and reality checks cash and maintaining what someone adjacent has that doesn't hasn't. Hazards, and cautionary bargaining, a chance to ask to the dance again, for you can call the song to do the cabbage patch, looking with the cherishing eyes, and you move ever so gently with the pride in the pocket of the soul, for the heart pen, for your button-up sleeve, for the next weekend and a couple of years of experience that with the sun, for the rain and light, and illuminated that dance hall altogether where I came. For the weather, for the moments of the good day, for the time is that, but always been for the beginning, and she's my shadow for the breeze and the oxygen to breathe my dreams, joy. That even yourself couldn't take away that life, but meant to be an enlightenment for the excitement, for the love that you can heal and all, for touch the spines and up and sin, you can tell the tongue tied enough for the washing the tides and she's vast air. Water toes and nature's waves no goodbyes. Good stays and good times and days of wine. And a good burn with the lift of fade, and you can find into the darkness and where you exist. That matters to me. To you can make a part of that for your love. It's the shining, but even the blind to see the open blinds and allow that light in. But what I meant for this always be in pursuit of enlightenment. The way you are the sun, you are mine. Love for the heart with your wisdom is rising to the center of attraction, and unexpected and the finer charging crystals of your distance and illuminating moon rocks and complete your harmony of the elements. Fell in love with the feeling of falling, and you have the feels. Better than your falling is a dream. And brand new flowers, you can make a brand partner with a partner who has that for the parting of a strange land, but discovered that has no ownership, but that we be lost with the light. House to bring the shore with this to nature's lamp. Cycles of the man dependency for the neglect. Knowledge and relationships for the stars and shaping relations. But your light divine is that for glad to see the your black obsidian for the balance in your prime meridian for the moon is the sun is in the equation. Compromising equators and dividing the list to find nothing all over again. For the remember the connection, the reflections and the memories of the sunset provides for the ignorant delay for just another expression. Questioning the need of the image projected for the unfortunately outside of that change how proud I was in overcoming the clouds and occupying the spring break and listening to failure life for the awareness. The reality for the future in an hour. Can change my life in any minute for the second of regret and remain away for the past to the progress of your outcome with affect emotions and affections and becoming affected in the effortlessly from. I find that for so wicked I can find and lit. This to the desire to eliminate the cheers and prolonging the temptation of temporary attempts. Permanent voids to fulfill the that for the obliteration for the hold on the truth of the sins of your father for the shaking the purple off of the purpose and paint for the color of the rain and no fun and new years to prince and this and destined for the phoenix. Like a sun into the cloudy day, beginning in the season of bland summers into support and privilege to pour and mixed out the grass greener on the other side of the cliche. Forging for windows of the opportunity for the exposure now the new ideas in the landscape. To keep blaming that in life on some level, like anything had to do with the actions, just absurd enough for not you. Have the consequential kind of righteousness. This is straight face for the win in the long run. Of crooked crock pocket left to crack at it for the number, the additional numbers of the address. You remember to play for the winning numbers. You're willing to wail and you in there for the cut for the numbering, enabling the stupid louder for the superstitions and cross over the bridges and stitches the material and narcissism for the needs of that repaired scratches and value of the rush broken. I can find a rub the raw one out. Person trampling over that back. Flat books and binding are dashed to the wall. River Situations in life that can't see. No eyes. Do understand when you go, there's a light that shines deep inside of your soul that illuminates the darkness and take control of which is the place to embrace the matter for to make us complete with the universe and whole. I'm rhyming this version not knowing where I'm going. There's a good word for you to come back to get what you left off from the sun's beginning and the ending of the weak stars and guides to meet. Weak for that to far out to be the stranger, responding up to the complete. Strangers that responded enough to contentment, for the contention, for the contemplating, for the confidence has been contorted for the enough to be ignored. But the truth that lies and not the amnesties, for the generosity, for the marriage of turning cheese and reality checks cash and maintaining what someone adjacent has to this and hazards, cautionary bargaining. The chance to ask to dance again, for you can call the song to do the cabbage patch. You're looking with the cherishing eyes, and you move ever so gently with the pride in the pocket of the soul, for the heart pen, for your button-up sleeve, for the next weekend and a couple of years of experience that with the sun, for the rain, light, and illuminated that dance hall altogether. But I came for the weather, for the moments of the good day, for the time is that but always been for the beginning. And she's my shadow for the breeze and the oxygen to breathe my dreams, joy. That even yourself couldn't take away the life it meant to be enlightenment, for the excitement, for the love that you can heal and all, for touching spines and up and sin you can tell. Tongue tied enough of the watching the tides and she's vast air. Water toes and nature's waves no goodbyes. Good stays, good times and days of wine. And a good burn with the lift of fate, and you can find into the darkness and where to exist. That matters to me, that you can make a part of that for your love. It's the shining, but even the blind to see the open blinds. And allow that light in, but what I meant for this always be in pursuit of enlightenment, the way. You are the sun, you are mine. Love for the heart with your wisdom is rising to the center of attraction, and I expect it in the finer charging crystals of your distance and illuminating moon rocks and complete your harmony of the elements. Fell in love with the feeling of falling, and you have the feels better than your falling is a dream. Brand new flower, you can make a brand new partner who has that for the parting of a strange land we discovered that has no ownership, but that we lost with the light. House to bring me sure with this is nature's land. Cycles of the man, dependency for the neglect. Knowledge and relationships for the stars and shaping relations. Your light divine is after glad to see that your black obsidian for the balance, and your prime meridian for the moon is the sun is in the equation. Compromising equators to divide in the list to find nothing all over again. For the remember the connection, the reflections and memories of the sunset provides for the ignorant delay, but just another expression. Questioning the need of the image projected for the unfortunately outside of that change, how proud I was in overcoming the crowds and occupying the spring break and listening to failure life for the awareness. The reality for the future in an hour. Could change my life in any minute for the second of regret and remain away from the past of the progress of your outcome will affect emotions and affections and becoming affected in their effortlessly affirming. Find that so wicked I can find it lit. It's the desire to eliminate its years and prolonging the temptation, the temporary attempts. Permanent voids to fulfill the for the obliteration, for the hold on the truth of the sin. Your father for the shaking, the purple off of the purpose and paint, for the color for the rain and new for the new years to praise. This is destiny for the Venus. Like a sun into the cloudy day, beginning in the season of bland summers into support and privilege to board, mixed out the grass green and on the other side of the cliche. Forging for windows of the opportunity to expose you now to new ideas in the landscape to keep blending that life was undoubled like anything had to do with the actions just absurd enough for not you. How the consequences of her righteousness, this is straight face for the win and the long run of crooked crock box left the crack addict with the number, the additional numbers of the address, and you remember to play for the winning numbers. You're willing to wail and you in there for the cut for the numbering, and enabling the super lotto for the superstitions and cross over the bridges and stitches, the material and narcissism for the needs you that prepared scratches and value the large room. I can find a rubbly wall worn out. Person traveling over that rock. Situations in life they can't see.
Situations in life they can't see.
Situations in life they can't see. No eyes. Do understand where you go, there's a light that shines deep inside of your soul that illuminates the darkness and take control of which is the place to embrace the matter for to make us complete with the universe and whole. I'm rhyming this version not knowing where I'm going. There's a good word for you to come back to get what you left off from the sun's beginning and the ending of the weak stars and guides to meet. Weak for that to far out to be the strangers responding up to the complete. Strangers that responded enough to contentment, for the contention, for the contemplated, for the confidence has been contorted for the enough to be ignored. But the the truth that lies and not the amnesties, for the generosity, for the marriage of turning cheese and reality checks cash and maintaining what someone adjacent has it doesn't has it. Hazards, cautionary bargaining, the chance to ask to dance again, for you can call the sun to do the cabbage patch. You're looking with the cherishing eyes and you move ever so gently with the pride. In the pocket of the soul, for the heart pan, for your button-up sleeve, for the next weekend, and a couple of years of experience that with the sun, with the rain, light, and illuminated that dance hall all together. But I came for the weather, for the moments of the good day, for the times that always been for the beginning. And she's my shadow for the breeze and the oxygen to breathe my dreams.